This is a video on the ratio test. The question states, determine if the series converges or diverges. And we have the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of n times 2 to the n divided by 3 to the n. So we will use a ratio test because we look at the series and I see a power 2 to the n and another power 3 to the n. And when we have these kind of powers, the ratio test is often the test that works easiest. So the ratio test tells us we take a limit as n approaches infinity of a sub n plus 1 over a sub n, and then we see if that limit is less than 1, and then the series will converge, or greater than 1, and then the series will diverge. So let's look at the limit. I took a limit as n goes to infinity, and I looked at a sub n plus 1, which means I took all the n's and replaced them with an n plus 1. So I have n plus 1, 2 to the n plus 1, over 3 to the n plus 1. And then I divided by a sub n, so that means I just write down the terms n times 2 to the n over 3 to the n. Now division by a fraction is the same as multiplication by the reciprocal, so I do that. And then what I'm going to do is I regroup. I'm going to put the 2 to the powers together, the 3 to the powers together, and I'm going to put the factors that don't have any powers together. And I did that, and I took the limit as n goes to infinity of n plus 1 over n times 2 to the n plus 1 over 2 to the n times 3 to the n over 3 to the n plus 1. And now I can simplify. N plus 1 over n, I can split that up and write that as n over n, which is 1, plus 1 over n. So I get 1 plus 1 over n. 2 to the n plus 1 over 2 to the n. I can use the rule that says that if I have a power divided by the power with the same base, I can subtract the exponents. N plus 1 minus n is just 1. So I just get 2. And similarly, 3 to the n over 3 to the n plus 1. But here the n plus 1 is on the bottom, so I get 1 over 3. And now I just plug in, if n goes to infinity, 1 over infinity goes to 0. So I get 1 plus 0 times 2 times a third, and that's just 2/3. So remember, we're comparing that with 1, and 2/3 is less than 1. And I'm ready to state my conclusion. When we have a limit of the ratio that is less than 1, that means that the series converges. We can conclude that the series, the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of n times 2 to the n over 3 to the n, converges by the ratio test. And I'm done with the problem.